All right. That kind of started off a little strange on my end. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, going to draw the Reverend Bob Levy. Yes. So, as discussed a little bit on latest pick, used to do show with Bob. It was the Bob Levy Show. And ended up being the guy editing it. And then I did, I did the news and I did comedy bits and stuff like that, and set up the plugs for the different comedy gigs that he and the others would have. Mostly Joe Conti and John Kensel rounded out the show there. And geez, I don't know how many episodes we did. It was a lot. And then eventually went our separate ways. That was about, I think that was, I don't think it was right at the time that he had his car accident, but I think it was like not pretty close to it. And we're probably going to try something else. And then that happened, and then, well, it was a while before he got back into it. And of course, the flow was stopped and what have you. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of fun shows that we did, and I still have a lot of those bits and stuff. I put quite a few of them on my locals, and I need to get them all on there. But my files at the moment, it must be stored on another hard drive. I still have all those stacked up, and I can plug them in to get files off of them. So, but I managed to get a few Unfortunately, they're just me. So I got two to play when I go to break to put this drawing into Photoshop. So plus, just for shizniz and giggles, I threw in my Subway Surfing NYC song. So I'll probably play that too for the break. For the break. So that's what we'll do. So let's see here. We'll use this as my reference photo that you cannot see, but I can. And of course, one of the repetitive themes is that Bob Levy is a vampire, and went with that. Hence, I'm sure, Out of the Coffin becoming the title of his main show today. And so, why not keep with it? It is Halloween, or Halloween upon us, however you want to put it. And I'll just draw him as a vampire, you know. Actually, it did quite a few Halloween specials for the Nelson show. And then the first one I did, uh, Bob was in. It was called Scream of the Devil. And the premise was to do my own sort of War of the Worlds uh, type thing, the Orson Welles thing. And but not just do an outright copy of the Martians and all that. Ended up doing one like that later on, but this one, the premise of it was this morning radio crew who did a special evening show because for Halloween, and the idea is that they would do a live seance on the show, and did this backstory that the building that houses the studio used to actually be someone's house, in which a terrible murder took place. And the killer claimed that, mysterious voices, haunted him and made him do it. And he murdered his whole family and all that stuff. So anyway, they decided to do this seance in the building, thinking it would all be fun and stuff for a Halloween show. And so Bob played the main host. Joe Conti was the other host. Stacy Pressman was the female host for the show, and John Kensel. It was hard to get a hold of him to do it, and he did do his lines, but I wrote it in to where he didn't have to do a whole lot. And so the idea was that he was too scared to do the show because he was superstitious about seances or something. So I wrote that in so he doesn't show up, but he calls in to the show and that sort of thing. So he did his lines, but he kind of messed them up. So I had to finish out his part with just trying to do an impression of his voice. That's how that one works. But the spoiler, his character is the only one that survives, at least that version. It ended up making it a trilogy later on with other episodes. But that one was that was the first time I had done it where I had to coordinate other people to do voices for one of my audio plays, similar to like Night Night and the like. And of course, the seance goes horribly wrong. Apparently, the building is haunted with demonic forces, and it's unleashed. And well, there you go. It didn't work out, and that was the deal. It's like, oh my God, you're listening to this horrific event, and similar again to War of the Worlds. And well, you can check it out. It's I have it on my locals, of course, but it's also on my Rumble channel, the Nelson Halloween specials, and you can under the Nelson Nightly channel, I guess is what they call it. And Scream of the Devil is in there. Later on, I wanted to do, before I decided to turn that whole story into a trilogy thing, I did Scream of the Devil, then a second one called Night of a Thousand Terrors, which was the original title for Scream of the Devil. I decided, hey, I'll use that for the next one. And then finally, a Brimstone was the last one. I did do War of the Worlds Venus Attacks, and that kind of tangentially features into it. See, it's all connected. It's like Marvel and shit. And the Brimstone was a reference to my hometown of Sulphur, Louisiana. So the idea that this was some sort of alternate version of Sulphur that this all took place in. And oh yeah, and there was another sort of spinoff called Flipping Flops, which was supposed to be this HGTV house flipping show, you know, when that was a thing. And so it's that, but they, of course, the house they're going to flip is haunted and that kind of thing. And invented a character, a Levy character out of that. And he didn't do the voice; I ended up doing it. But the characters gave him the name of the Reverend Dr. Levy, or Leakey rather, and he's supposed to come in and help chase away your demon infestation and shit. And then he appears in Brimstone, but he's a separate character from the radio host character. And so I thought, oh, there's a potential comic book character of the Reverend Dr. Leakey, perhaps, you know, being a ghost and demon hunter or whatever. And yes, blue cheese was required in some of the aspects, at least according to him. The female host had to agree to have blue cheese eaten in order to, I don't know, perform some anti-demon ritual in the house. And she went for it, you know. That sort of thing. And so Flippin' Flops is one of them. But in between all that, I decided, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I did an adaptation of classic horror stories like Dracula? And I did it, and I wanted to have Levy play Dracula, but he wasn't. This was, you know, when the bad stuff started happening, you know, and he wasn't doing all that well. And I said, yeah, don't worry about it. You know, I'll just do the lines. And so I did, yeah, I'm Dracula, yeah. And once again, basically the same cast from the previous one, reunited. So Stacey Pressman played the damsel in distress for the Dracula story. Joe Conti was playing like Dracula's, you know, main assistant. There's always some guy who isn't a vampire himself that helps out the vampire. And that was Conti's role. Of course, things were still good with Rob Saul back then between Levy and everybody. So Rob played a role in it. And I played the Van Helsing role, but I just changed it to Dr. Van Nelson, you know. And but this time, Kinsel showed up, and he did a really good job. I always get a chuckle out of listening to it. Him playing the husband, Stacey Pressman's husband in the story, who just doesn't have a clue about what's going on here. And but ultimately, you know, the good guys win. Doesn't go well for Bob Dracula, as I called him in this. And it worked out pretty good. And so I thought, man, I got to do this again, and still haven't. I wanted to do a follow up on Frankenstein, and started up with the premise of the story and everything, but it was hard. I didn't think it would be easy to get everybody together again to do it. Uh, and when I started it, I'd even written it to where I could just have Bob involved in a limited capacity if he just didn't have the time or wasn't feeling well. You know, this was started. This wasn't long after the accident and stuff. So I said, you know, I could just have him play Dr. Frankenstein's father in the story, and they talk on the phone, and in my Dr. Frankenstein was just a bit of a failure in life and kept hitting up his old man for money. And this time this latest experiment was really going to pay off. And of course, being a comedy, uh, decided that the premise was Dr. Frankenstein was not trying to create life, but this was in the Dark Ages, set back in the Dark Ages time before Viagra was invented. And he was trying to invent some form of that, and decided to experiment on corpses. Because, hey, if you could make a corpse get it up, then surely this will work for the living. See, it really kind of makes sense. But of course, oh boy, everything goes wrong, and creates a monster. So, you know, and but unfortunately, never got to do it. And that's just one of those things. It's still possible at some later date, but now I'm the one who is very limited on time. Those good old days of me coasting on the ranch. And the big mistake was coasting. You got to take things seriously. Stop living like you're a child. Yeah. If you don't, well, you'll learn your lesson the hard way. So anyway, it would still be a good thing, but I would like to do it with other performers, not just all myself. You know. And so hopefully at some point we do that. And then there's others. I have a Night of the Living Dead spoof I'd like to do. That one's still kind of up in the air as to how I would do it. I might not need a cast for it, but more stuff of that. But you know, things I gotta just remember, if I can, to plan well in advance for something like that, which of course would get in the way of the stuff I would be currently doing, but that's the nature of it. But the thing is I run out of time, and then things come up that I didn't anticipate. It's like this time around, I realized I probably wasn't going to get to any of my audio stories specifically for Halloween like I usually do. Because the plan was, well, not initially, I was supposed to have gone sooner, but was to go to Tennessee and hang out with Pat at least for a couple of days. And I figured, well, that would take up a lot of time, so I probably wouldn't get to do everything, but well, you know, so what? That's a good reason not to. Instead, everything was so late, and then when I finally got the vacation, well, the back went out, and I was pretty much stuck here. Only thing I could do was sit in this chair and do some live streams, but God, man, I'm still pissed off about all that. Because even though I realized I was like, well, surely I can get a lot of stuff done now that I do have the time. Nope. Because it became unbearable just to sit here. And then it's like with the back pain, even just laying down. It's like, no, no, that's hurt. Oh, no, 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 oh God. So pretty much more than half of the vacation was no vacation at all. So that's my lot in life. But again, especially some of the material covered on tonight's show with the flumetibide and all that stuff. Uh, there's worse things can happen. So you got to count your blessings where you get them. Oh boy, you sure do. Oh yes, and so yeah, I guess I got to stop my bitching. And hey, there's next year is another year. There'll be other vacations. Hmm. People say that, tomorrow is another day. It is, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's another day for you. You know? You know? Yeah. That's the truth. Yeah. So, but, you know, it's just like, I guess the proper saying would be sometimes it's another day. I'll put that off until tomorrow. But tomorrow may never come. So, anyway, there we go. As for this Halloween, of course, I said, well, it's okay because I got my plans for my audio play, The Cruise, which is kind of sort of a horror story. Well, managed to do one episode and still have this night story that I got to finish that I'm not all that thrilled with, but well, it's done. I got to finish up the last few lines of the episode, and I'm debating whether to just go ahead and put that out like for tomorrow, and because Halloween's over by the time next Saturday rolls around, and so I'll have to have some other show put there. Probably just a bunch of Nelson news stuff. But man, that guy who caught his brother banging his wife with his mom sitting in the front seat. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's one thing if he's like, is the mother like nearly deaf and blind or something? They go, oh well, geez, he did. Which I mean, you already know the brother's a piece of shit, but of course, then again, Pat made a good point. The brother ultimately probably saved his brother from being stuck with that monstrous cow of a wife that he had. But still, I mean, your mother, man, he's got to do 3 years. I mean, that really does seem excessive. I mean, all right, he beat him with a shovel, but they lived. They'll be all right. But he won't. I mean, man, that's a tough thing to come back from. Hey, what was the worst day of your life? Well, it's other people talk about, oh man, I fell off a building and ended up in a wheelchair and all this stuff. Another guy, oh, I don't know, I caught some disease and went blind or something, and then this guy, yeah, well, my brother banged my wife in the backseat of a car. Yeah, that's tough. No, wait, I'm not finished. With our mother sitting in the front seat, bearing witness to the ordeal. Yeah, yeah, you got the worst of it. You win first prize. Uh, yeah, it happened happened in Australia, so that was truly an I story. And now you think, hey, look, it's a strange land. It's far away. But no, they don't go for that either. But at least it wasn't in Louisiana, as per usual. But look, at least it was the sister-in-law and not the sister. Just trying to look at some positives here. And I mean, they charged him with possession of a firearm. Of course, they got all those draconian gun laws now over there, so I guess he fell under that. But that actually should have been a plus. I mean, he could have gunned them all down in the anger he obviously must have felt. But he didn't. He didn't. So I think that should go to mitigating circumstances. Or what was his name? McCullough or something like that? I think so. I mean, my God, those 3 years won't be nearly as bad as the suffering he's already had to endure. And as far as I know, through no fault of his own. I mean, all right, maybe he wasn't that great in the sack, but goddamn, lady, you don't do that. I'll let the ink dry a bit before I erase the pencil. So on the chat, Dominic says, can you paint Bob using blue cheese? Well, I'm also on YouTube at the moment, so I don't know how far I would go with that. But rest assured, Bob Dracula is a fan of blue cheese. Plaidcore, hey, Doug. Hey, Plaidcore. Rod Thunderheart. Hail, Mr. Nailson. Hello, Rod Thunderheart. In a world where hearts roar with thunder, none roar louder than Rod Thunderheart. A. Thompson, still not monetized? Well, not on YouTube, no. A. Thompson, that why you should take a teaching job in Asia. Well, I have a job. Rod Thunderheart, I just visited Spock's hometown, Vulcan, Alberta. So that's where it is. All this time we thought it was another world. And in a way it is. It's its own world. But that's where it is. That's where they had that wedding fight and everything. Boy, that's embarrassing. Everyone gets together for a wedding and then a fight breaks out, Not as bad as that excuse me, as that Australian story. Nowhere near as bad. Nobody had to fake their death or anything. Cryptog. Oh, hi, Pam. The days do zoom by like a shooting star. Yep. Hey, Thompson, I bet that mom couldn't smell either. You would think it has to be. It didn't say anything in the article, and I saw her picture where she's holding up her dogs. The poor dogs, even Bob piped in, why do you got to involve them in this? And he's right. That was wrong. Of the many wrongs this woman has committed. But nevertheless, and she didn't look disabled. I mean, she was fat, but no indication of blindness or lack of hearing, I mean, just the absolute psychological damage you've done to your son. A. Thompson, smells like sex and candy. Yeah, remember that song? I actually had the album. It's not that bad, but that was it. That one-hit wonder, Rod Thunderheart, I absolutely love your art, Doug. Why, thank you, Rod. You make Mort Drucker proud. Yeah, well, I would hope so. Mort Drucker, Mad Magazine artist, him and Angelo Torres, huge influences on Mr. Nelson. Yes. A. Thompson, mom was just trying to get a grandkid from that son. Yes, the other one failed shooting blanks. Well, now get in there, boy. I mean, get in there, boy. Anyway, Dominic, I meant use blue cheese as the paint. Oh, so the whole drawing would be blue. Blue cheese. Well, you know, it's a signature. Sure is. And, the fans come to expect it. Yes. Yeah, I think Bob is more of a Hammer Films Dracula, like Christopher Lee, than a Bela Lugosi. I think so. Same outfit, basically. Although, I don't know, it looked like Christopher Lee's cape was a lot longer. Of course, he was a much taller man, I believe. And then, actually, a very, really good actor, but he got stuck in that Dracula role, and poor guy. But he got some justice. He was in Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. That was cool. And of course, don't forget, he was the man with the golden gun in James Bond. So yeah, that's something. Rod says it shows, brother. Why, thank you, Rod. Yes, I would like to think so. Yes. Dominic, are his fangs from Turkey? Yes. Yeah, he needed some work. Bob Dracula decided, you know what? They say you get long in the tooth, but not so much. I got to go to Turkey and get these done. Yeah. You understand? So there we go. So now got to put this into the Photoshop and put some color to it. Although, vampires tend to be rather pale. Yeah. So won't require too much, but yeah, some color on the suit, put some red in the cape, good stuff like that. That'll round out the deal. All right, let's see. Okay, so here's some of the bits that I did. It's all me doing the voices of the people that were in the show. But hey, look, it's what I had to work with. And so the first one, I did these bits that were supposed to be like ads for television shows that the cast of the Bob Levy show would be in. So the first one was a hospital drama called Code Blue. And the second one was sort of a primetime soap opera like Dallas used to be, except this one was set in Camden, New Jersey. So it's called Camden. And finally, unless I just won't bother, and I'll play it at the end of the show or something, the Subway Surfing NYC song. It's an AI song, but I did do the lyrics. That's something. And of course, I did the little cartoon that's in it. But anyway, first up, Code Blue.
And now it's time for Code Blue with our heroes, Doctors Levy, Conti, and Kitzel. Well, Mr. Tinklestein, what seems to be the problem?
Well, Dr. Levy, it's, a few months back, I had a penile implant put in.
Wow.
I couldn't use the normal treatments of, Viagra and Cialis because of my heart condition, and so, an implant was put in, and, everything seemed fine, but,
What? Is it defective? It doesn't work? What's the problem?
It makes a sound. It's a silly, humiliating noise.
How bad can it be? All right, drop your drawers and let's see what we got here.
All right. Okay, here goes. I'll activate it. It's no laughing matter, Doctor. My marriage is on the brink of destruction because of it.
Yeah, I bet it is. Boy, you can't stay in the mood when you're laughing that hard.
It's not only that. Sometimes it goes off on its own, right at the office in the middle of work and important meetings. I don't think you fully understand how much torment I'm in here.
Hang on a minute, hang on. I gotta catch my breath here. All right, look. All right, put that thing down. I don't want that staring at me.
Okay, I'll deflate it.
Oh, God damn. Oh, Jesus Christ, this is gold.
Meanwhile, on the next floor, we find the offices of psychiatrist Dr. John Kinsel.
Oh, Dr. Kinsel, I don't know what this means, but I deeply love my husband, and we've had a good marriage for the 4 years we've been together, but sometimes when I'm alone, and I, touch myself, I dream about other women. Does that make me gay?
Hang on a minute. Let me find somebody who can help you with this.
What are you doing?
Hang on. All right, here we go.
What are you doing with that puppet on your head?
Relax. It's therapy. This is Betty the Butch. Say hi to Laura, Betty. Well, hi there, Laura. Let me tell you, honey. Oh, I'd love nothing more than to dive right into your fish bucket. Oh, let me tell you. Oh.
This is totally inappropriate and outrageous, Doctor.
Yeah, because if she went down on you, it'd be more like a hand job. Meanwhile, down the hall, Dr. Joe Conti begins his rounds.
So, Mr. Brownspot, what seems to be the trouble today for you?
Well, Dr. Conti, lately I've been suffering from severe gastrointestinal problems, resulting in uncontrollable flatulence that never seems to end.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Oh, jeez. Let me get the window. Oh, hang on, that's my phone. Let me check that.
But then, static electricity from Conti's phone ignites the methane gas that has been collected in the exam room, resulting in... Will Dr. Conti and Mr. Brownspot survive? What about Dr. Levy and his patient? Can he solve the problem of those cartoon noises for that man's privates? And what about Dr. Kinsel? Is his therapy unorthodox or just batshit crazy? Tune in next time for another episode of Code Blue. Join us now as we delve into the world of two industry titans as they clash for power over a town called Camden.
Chloe, get your spoiled brat ass in here.
What do you want now, Dad?
I want to tell you you're grounded, you little bitch.
What? Why?
I found out about you and that Conti boy. There's no way in hell any daughter of mine's gonna get knocked up with Conti spawn.
I hate you!
Yeah, go upstairs, you little whore.
Well, BL, what's the matter with the princess? She couldn't get a pony?
Hey, Jillian, my favorite trophy wife. It's good of you to come in after your hours of showing off your tan lines to that pool boy Kinsel.
I don't know what you mean.
You know exactly what I mean, you whore. You'd better shape up.
Or what? You gonna ground me too?
No, I'll just cut off your credit cards.
You wouldn't dare.
Try me, bitch. Damn it, saved by the bell. I gotta take this. Get out of here.
Ruthless bastard. One of these days.
Hey, Mrs. Levy, I scrubbed down the patio and, I did it with my shirt off and got all the video footage that you asked me to, so here it is.
Oh, that's great. Say, I've been having troubles with my shower, and, could you look at it?
Oh, what's the matter with it?
I think it's best if I go up there and you follow me, and I take a shower, and you watch, and then maybe we'll find out the problem together.
Yeah, and I'll work hard so you won't have to.
What the hell was that supposed to mean?
It's from that. Never mind.
Yeah. Keep your mouth shut, because when you don't, you really spoil the mood. Now let's go.
So what's with the call, Conti? You wanted to hear what a real king of the suppository industry sounds like?
No. I wanted you to keep that little whore daughter of yours away from my son Hemingway.
Yeah, Hemingway should be so lucky. At least then he could marry into a business that's going somewhere instead of down the commode like his father's.
One day, Levy, you're gonna pay for stealing my suppository design.
Oh, that's all in your head, you lowland gorilla. You're not the only one who's seen a banana. I gotta go. You're boring me, and I've got a real life to live. Too bad you'll never know what that's like. That bastard. Oh, hey, what are you doing here? Hey, what's that? It's unbelievable.
Who shot BL? Find out in the next exciting episode of Camden.
Okay, that's going on too long. So let's get to the main thing. Okay. Here we are. Yeah, it is. Here. In the photo shop where all the magic can happen. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I got to hide this so I can see what I'm doing. And it's not. That should be. There we go. All right. Let me catch a little bit more of the chat. Dominic, I've come to suck your show rama. Yeah. Dominic, could you draw Bill Schultz stealing Bob's cape? Well, I could, but Nodak123, hit the like button. Yes, listen to Nodak. Pladcore says smash. Nodak123 says nice. Pladcore says yee. Pam I am. I love this. It's hilarious. Why, thank you, Pam I am. All right, here we go. Bob Dracula. So, and yeah, the Bob Dracula show had a happy ending for the couple. Yeah. And I was Dr. Van Nelson, the vampire fighter, and had unique ways of dealing with it. But I guess if I told the whole story, it would spoil it. So, I won't. No, can't make me. Okay, so here we go. Now here you want the shading to be where I've indicated it by the line or where the nose is, say. That's where most of color would be, because it's more pronounced. in the shading. Yeah, and this is one of those rare times when I actually remember that so obvious and necessary element. So, hey, that's nice, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. Um, here we go. The Reverend Bob Levy, starring as Bob Dracula. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so the story takes place, well, in New Jersey, I think. And basically, uh, Bob Dracula needed some plumbing work done, so he hires John Kinsel. So he's like the Jonathan Harker character from the Dracula story, if you are familiar. And was also looking to contract him for further work. And Kiss was like, "Oh wow, this is great." Uh, and then so invites Bob Dracula over to the house, um, for dinner and stuff to kind of seal the deal for this business relationship. And Bob Dracula takes a glance at John's wife, and oh boy, well, you know how that goes. So, um, oh, plus, yeah, Stacy had to do two roles. Well, she did two roles in Scream of the Devil. She had to play the medium and the co-host of the show. So she, did this accent for the fortune teller lady who does the seance. And in this one, she had to play her, well, not herself, but, um, there were two sisters in the original story. What was it, Mina and Lucy, I guess? Anyway, that's what she did. And of course, the sister is the first one to fall under the spell of Bob Dracula. And I mean, good Lord, what woman could resist? And so that's how that went. Oops. Yeah. In the wrong layer. See, that's important. But I caught it. You know why? Because I'm a professional. And everything gonna be all right. Everything gonna be good. As it should. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Boy, they keep having accusations about Diddy, huh? Do you think Diddy did it? Diddy. Sure is a lot, and you think, wow, there's a lot of smoke there. There's got to be fire. And seems likely. And he says, hey, look, it's just a bunch of disgruntled people whose careers went nowhere and they're just piling on. Well, all right, but man, of course, they did seize an awful lot of video. Oh boy. See, that's the problem. And you decided to tape all of that. Of course, the idea is, of course, he did for blackmail purposes of quite a few well-known stars. So, uh-oh. Quite a few. Kind of like, and it's not like you can say, hey, that's all deep fake, because they didn't have that back then. Of course, you could do a deep fake that looks like it was done back in the 90s or early 2000s, whatever, when all this crap is supposed to have gone down. Um, and then quite a few names keep being dropped around. Supposedly there was already some settlements with certain people who have grievances over this. Um, quietly hush that away. Yes, yes. However, as the trial progresses, um, how much of this could be released? You know, you know. And if that happens, well, it doesn't really matter who you settled with. The damage will be done. Especially if it was these guys who went in there and then took it in the A. uh, how do you explain that? And that's like it's a lot of the allegations is that he was raping men too. Jeez. Uh, sounds like Diddy has some sort of issue, you know. But anyway, that's what he was doing, I guess. But never liked the guy, you know. I just, yeah, I remember that. What was it? I think it was for one of the Godzilla movies where he basically just did some crappy rap to Kashmir from Led Zeppelin, and it's just so you, and it's almost the entire. It's not even like a lot of times the sampling stuff would be like one riff that it was still recognizable and everything, but it would be one bit. And it was always like the coolest little riff from a popular song, and then they would just yeah through it and stuff like that. Well, that's what he would do, but he did it with Kashmir. He just wanted the dun 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 dun. But then they performed the song with him, and it's like, oh man, how do you do that? Don't you have any? Of course, now we might know why, because did Page and Plant go to one of the freak offs? I guess we'll find out. Or not, maybe they could. Wait, did I do the. No? Why is it not selecting the color I want? That's not quite it. All right. So is that? You stole our song. Shut up. I'll put that tape out of you guys. Yeah. And, oh shit. And so like, hey, we're big fans of Diddy. I guess he was still Puff Daddy then. But it's not much of an achievement. You just took a catchy tune that someone else came up with. Oh wait, Led Zeppelin. Like how many songs were not really there? Whoops. But I don't know. It still sounded cool, so not so much the whatever the Godzilla song was. I think that was the one where what was it? Matthew Broderick was in there. That was before he ran over those people and killed them. And instead of Tokyo, the Godzilla attacked New York, and then Godzilla laid some eggs. And what was it? Shea Stadium, or I can't remember, something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really mind the movie all that much. It was just kind of dumb fun, but still, it was should have come up with your own monster, I guess. But so you're stealing from Godzilla. Well, yeah, but then Godzilla was inspired, if you want to put it that way, from the beast from was it 1,000 Fathoms or days? Really embarrassing on my part. 1,000 or 2,000? Maybe 1,000. But that was stop motion animation deal where basically giant dragon looking creature attacking the city, and really, well, that's all it's going to do. I mean, what else? It's just like, I don't like all this stuff, all these little people running around. I don't like the noise. I don't like the stench. I think this is really disgusting, and I'm just going to step all over it. That's how the monster sees it, And it's sad that there couldn't be some compromise. Like there's probably some property that's condemned anyway, and you need to get rid of it. Hey, just have the old kaiju come in there and take care of business. But alas, it doesn't always work out that way. No, wait, don't. There's squatters in there. I mean, on second thought. And it could be your kaiju service. Then again, there's only so many buildings around. And boy, do they love to smash up buildings. And it's like, that's it? No more? Well, that's going to be a problem. I guess we'll make the vest red. Oh, shit. Does Dracula wear a vest? I guess sometimes. I don't know. It's supposed to be some guy from the aristocracy from way back when, Can't remember. Did I do much of a backstory for Bob Dracula? I don't know. All right. So anyway, in conclusion, quite biased against Diddy. So maybe I can't be quite as objective on these accounts. But that said, I mean, come on, it doesn't look very good. But it's also to be said of these people who went to those parties, got involved in it, and said, hey, I couldn't say anything. He was blackmailing me. Yeah, you went along with that shit. And said nothing. All the while, how many of these assholes were preaching their sermons online and whatnot, about how awful we all are because we're not them. And that kind of thing, And then, oh, well, look what you did in your spare time. And supposedly there was some revelation about Ashton Kutcher, and that's what ended him and Mila Kunis, Like, whoops. I imagine it would have to be pretty bad. And I mean, because if it's not something recent, it would have to be something god awful that happened. He was there and said nothing and all this sort of stuff, or participated in something. And she's like, God damn, you think you know somebody, and that kind of thing, That's all sad. They met on that 70s show, you know. After he, I don't know, had a mommy thing for Demi Moore, and then found his way back to Mila. You know, it's almost like well, well, a fairy tale romance, you know. But then there was Diddy. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the end of the fairy tale, or perhaps the beginning. Jeez, Diddy. Did Diddy and Ashton get it on? Oh, jeez. Oh. Mm. Oops. All right. Maybe that for a little bit of color. All these shite. All right. Moving right along. Yeah, moving right along. Cause you either get moving on or you're left behind. Do, 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 do. Let's see, we'll do the teeth. Now you got to brush between meals, you understand. And I don't, oops. And I assume that Dracula does that because of all the things, you know, he beats out crosses and stuff because you don't really have the faith and that sort of thing. And well, let's just go ahead and do this right there. Put that little drop of blood on the tooth. Yeah. How about that? That's something right there. Yeah. I guess that's one thing I know. Dracula likes to get a full meal. Anyway, what the hell was I talking about? Crap. Oh, well, it's gone, not only, but to God, I guess. Oh, wait, I'm on tape. Let me, oh boy, there's a lot of, well, hell, I'll do the chat when I'm almost through here. Damn, I thought I had some good point I was going to make. It is the shirt, and then I noticed the tooth. Oh, oral hygiene. Yeah, it's very important to brush between meals and floss. Now, flossing was something I just like, oh, God, I don't have time for that. But then some smartass made those flossies or whatever the hell, you know, they're on the little plastic thing. You see them all over the place now, you know, in the parking lot, you got to sweep them up. Well, you don't, but I do. And that sort of thing. But nevertheless, what a clever invention, because that's really the only way to floss, because it just makes it so much easier. It's a toothpick with floss. So simple, yet so amazing. And I just like, God damn it. I'm an utter waste of skin. I don't think of anything that's useful to anybody. Except these drawings, you know. Yeah. This is probably it. This is the pinnacle of my existence. Behold, you bear witness to my reason for existence. It's a reason. At least I have one. Damn it! But anyway, there we go. Bob Levy as Bob Dracula. Ain't that something? I mean, it is something. Here's the thumbnail that I used. Originally, I gave it to Pat, but he didn't use it. So I changed it to later as Spock. And there we have Bob Dracula with some for men only hair dye. And Pat Dixon as werewolf detective. That's pretty much the look I would go for werewolf detective, although I'd give him pointed ears sticking out of the hair, you know. And he's working on a case and he runs afoul of Bob Dracula. Yeah. That's taken from the image of either Dracula versus the Wolfman or Wolfman versus Dracula. Either one, it's the same movie. So there you go. That's the Photoshop. And this is the cartoon. Yes. Isn't that nice? Okay. Okay, Dominic, you ever draw your own original comic strip, Doug? Yes, I have. There have been several over the years. And in recent time, I've published comics about Night Night, the audio plays I do on my podcast. And those are available at indieplanet.com. It's a Florida outfit. And I think they're back up and running because they had to go through the hurricane, you know. And you head over there, search for Night Night, and you too can have a copy of Doug Nelson's Night Night comic book. Oh, yeah. Or you can download the digital if you prefer. A. Thompson, send Bob the link and show him. But I think he wanted to go to bed. I mean, we were up late, and you know, he does shows in the morning, really. You know, but, you know, tends to. So I'm pretty sure he's taking his sleepy time. I know vampire and everything, but it's just an act. But yeah, I gotta have him on. I definitely will invite him for Nelson's show. He's done that a couple of times, and that kind of thing. And but yeah, send the link. Shoot the shit while I draw some picture, you know. Hey, Thompson, I hope Pat and Bob become great friends. They are a good mix. Bob can have Pat on. Yeah, I don't see why not. You know, they've done shows together in the past. And now that Bob's time is a little freer, that becomes more likely, you know. Hey, Thompson, I forgot to ask you, Pat was on the Shuley Network and had a great library of podcasts. Where did they go? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. Was that? I guess Shuley has them. I don't know. That was Indefensible. That was the name of the show. And I don't know if Pat still has those. If he does, he could put those on his locals, I guess, or put it on his Rumble channel. Yeah, it's a good question. If Diddy, Nodak123, if Diddy gets away from all those crimes, I hope they at least put him in jail for that terrible song. Yes, from the Godzilla soundtrack that sampled Led Zeppelin song. Yes, yeah. See, I wasn't the only one that got pissed off about that. But I mean, there's so many. He's gonna. I don't see how he gets out of it in total. Some of these cases probably won't go anywhere. That's how it goes. There's not enough cooperation and that type of thing. But that video evidence, it really comes down to that. Is he taped everything? And then people saying, yeah, I was extorted because I'm on video doing things I'd rather no one knew I did. But there it is. Nodak123, damn it, I just typed that. Oh, okay, this is when I started talking about it. And well, you know, it's an event that happened. And it shouldn't have. Almost as bad as his freak offs. Hey, Thompson and Dominic, I am working with Doug on a new villain series, Satellite Man. He runs around and hides and zaps men in the pecker. Oh, I thought Tony Chase was supposed to be the Satellite Man. You see, maybe that's his origin story. Initially, he's the first victim of the CIA satellite that destroyed his teeth and his penis. And so he became Satellite Man. I don't know. Nodak123, he also sampled the police. Yeah, Every Breath You Take. That's right. That was another one. Now, did they have to go and bend the knee to him and perform the song with him like Zeppelin did? Because then it's like, okay, so we're the police in attendance at a freak off. Dominic, that's exactly what I want to use Starlink for. I guess I'm forgetting what the conversation for the internet service of Starlink. And Nodak123, him and Will Smith really took advantage of sampling great songs. Well, yeah, I mean, sampling was quite the thing in the early days of rap until someone cited, hey, you're not supposed to be able to do that. And so you got to pay license and if you're going to and that sort of thing. But interestingly enough, the Beastie Boys did sample songs, but turns out they were actually a punk band before they became rappers. And so they had the advantage of just doing their own jam sessions. And then they sampled the music from that jam session for their songs. See, that's how you're supposed to do it. But, that would require actual musical talent and skill. Nodak123, Madison Square Garden. Yeah, is that where the Godzilla went? Of course. Well, there you go. My God, how could anyone do that venue? Godzilla laid eggs there. Dominic, we prefer the word strongly borrowed. Yeah. Yeah. Was that the defense in the civil case? Hey, Thompson, I had Starlink on my boat and got a nasty letter from them about not using it on a boat. I got rid of it. Wow. I wonder why you have to be on land to use it. Plaidcore, Puff always sucked. Apparently in more ways than one. Plaidcore, and it makes a lot of sense. He had Biggie killed. Oh, was he supposed to be the one that did that? Wow. So, like who killed Tupac and who killed Biggie, and all that. So, well, I don't know about Tupac, but boy, that'd be something if that came out in one of the tapes, in between all the orgies and whatever else. Yeah, he's like bragging about how he got rid of Biggie, Nodak123, and there's no limitations on murder. A statute of limitations. Nodak123, somehow Godzilla was as big as a bridge, could dig up info. Madison Square could dig up into Madison Square Garden without breaking the roof, lay dozens of eggs. Yeah, that was a cool trick. And that Godzilla was able to bury under the ground like Bugs Bunny did, and came out of Madison Square Garden and said he made a wrong turn at Albuquerque and all that. Plaidcore, I bet Biggie would have capped Puff if he hinted at any baby oil shit. Yeah, more than likely. Hey, Thompson, remember when the cell phone companies in America were trying to block tethering, WhatsApp, Google, Voice, etc.? They were in a panic. Starlink has the same vibe as late 1990s cell phone companies. Well, we'll see. Nodak123, Diddy's only good song was Shake Your Tail Feather, a song he did with Nelly. Huh. Is that like the original song? Wasn't there? Damn it. What am I thinking of? Crap. Well, anyway, I guess once in a while you stumble into one. Nodak123, I could see Ashton, Danny Masterson, yeah, and Fez going to Diddy's party and not saying anything. Fez has always seemed like a creep in real life, and Danny Masterson is currently in jail. That's right. One down, two to go. I don't know much about Fez. He was supposed to do a Zorro show, and then didn't hear anything about it. Maybe he is in those tapes. What about Topher? Was Topher around? Plaidcore, LOL. Pam, I am. That's a nice Levy drawing. Thank you, Pam. Thank you. A. Thompson. Doug, if you woke up after a Diddy party with a greasy a-hole, would you tell anyone? Oh, more than likely not. But then, of course, it would be on tape. You know. And then he's like, don't worry, it's just baby oil. Yeah, but how did well, don't worry. We can show you how it got in it. Here, let's reverse the tape. And oh, shit. Plaidcore, I was going to write that. Plaidcore are something similar. Fizz, LOL. Plaidcore, I like that Tail Feather song too, but I don't remember hearing too much of Puss on the track. Puss Daddy video, different story. Dominic, floss picks and AI are the future. Yes, the future. I mean, the future is here. Puff. Okay, so, but I don't know. You know, he's accused of sex with men. But I guess he was never the bottom. So I guess he still claims the name Puff, but not Poof. Plaidcore, what version of Peas is that? Peas? Yeah, no Dak 123 asks, Peas? Dominic, I heard Diddy has to pay Sting $1,000 a day for the rest of his life for the same song he strongly borrowed. Like that's a residual out of the song when it's used. Hey. Plaidcore, sorry, photo. This is a really old Photoshop. I just keep using it, and especially since they went to you just subscribe to it online. I'm not a fan of that anyway. I do have a later version, but it's really old now. It has more bells and whistles, but look, I'm stuck in my ways. But this is Photoshop 7, ancient, but I don't know. It works good enough for me. Nodak 123, you better be sorry. I was really upset. Yeah. Plaidcore says, haha. Hey, Thompson, $30K a month is basically 20% of the royalties. All right. It stands to reason he's getting something, because that's how you keep that legal. But is that legal? I'll make it legal. Hey, Thompson, you want to use Starlink to zap men in the pecker? LOL. I guess I should have kept that and tried to zap some teeth and peckers. Wow, so it's Starlink? Dominic, Beastie Boys did sample Sweet Leaf by Black Sabbath for their song Rhythm and Stealin'. Yeah. But the deal is they didn't really have to. These other rappers, they had to. Plaidcore, Sabotage is a great punk song. Yeah, that's good. Plaidcore, One Chord and Killer. Canadian Spider-Man. Hey, Canadian Spider-Man. Here's Douglas Nelson with the late shows all this month. Whoop, whoop, let's start a fire. Well, be careful with that. Playing with fire can be dangerous. I've heard tell it burns. Sentai Ranger Donnie, hello, Doug, and all. Hope everyone is well despite the passing of Terry Garr. Yeah, that's sad. And of course, always remember from Young Frankenstein. Plus, she was in a Star Trek episode, that one they tried to make a spinoff series from, with the secret agent from space and all that. Yeah, she was cute and really lovely, but she's no longer with us. Nodak123, Ray Charles did a song called, yeah, that's it. Yeah, Shake a Tail Feather from the Blues Brothers soundtrack. Right. The two songs sound very, okay. I thought it, maybe he sampled that, but anyway, Plaidcore, Topher Grace didn't like the rest of the cast. Gee, I wonder why. And didn't chill with them from what I've heard. He didn't participate in freak-offs, apparently. He went into that horrible Spider-Man movie and haven't seen or heard from him since. So, Dominic Bill Schultz is also known to be a strong borrower of things. Well, apparently he gave it back. So, Sentai Ranger Donnie, or is it Donnie or Danny? Donnie? Hello, Dom. Plaidcore, Topher. Okay. Dominic, howdy, Sentai. Nodak123. Yeah, that's why he left before their last season. Yeah. It's like, look, I don't want to do baby oil. Come on, Topher, don't puss out. He left. Hey, Thompson, Doug, do not upgrade any Adobe product. Trust me. Yeah, I'm not. As long as this continues to work, I don't see the point. Plaidcore, Hey, Thompson, Adobe wants everyone to pay a monthly fee for everything now. I'm still using all the old Acrobats and Lightrooms. I'll never get on Adobe CC. Yeah. Now, I understand why, because their software would get stolen almost immediately and became difficult to maintain a profitable company. But this too probably won't work either. So I don't know what to tell anybody. It's kind of sad in a way. But got the old one. So again, like I said, as long as it keeps working, I'll just do that. Nodak123, the girl that played Donna was married to Danny Masterson's brother. The brother played the oldest brother in Malcolm in the Middle. Wow. Boy, Hollywood's a small world, isn't it? Yeah, that Donna chick. Yeah, she was pretty hot, too. She got naked in that prison show. Yeah. That's great. Dominic Ray P. Mr. Charles. Oh, really? I hadn't heard that one. Wow. Oh, Gary Ambrosia's here. Well, hello, Gary. All hail the great Douglas Nelson. Well, what can I say except listen to Gary. Dominic, Doug's still using a typewriter. Yeah, on occasion, Plaidcore, they both seem like creeps. Probably. Something about that town. I mean, sure. You can blame a location if you feel so inclined, but it's probably you. Well, the influence and everything. Yeah. Now, that old thing. Well, she said she was 18. Yeah. Hey, Thompson. Doug, did you watch The Substance yet? No, and it's a damn shame because time is pretty much run out. But that doesn't matter. I can still do, because I was doing a bunch of horror movie reviews anyway. I just got in the mood for that. And you got to understand the significance of horror movies, especially when it comes to film. And even more so, especially if you're someone looking to get into the art of filmmaking. Your best bet, if for nothing else, just to learn how it's done and everything and get fill that out, is do a horror movie. You can do those. You can do a good one with virtually no money. You're going to spend some money. So don't get me wrong. But basically, I don't know, if you've got access to some woods, that's a horror movie set. If you can, either your house or someone else's, and everyone's got a weekend or so free, there you go. You can do a horror movie there, and, if you want it to be some ginormous supernatural thing, no, that's not going to work out. But a lot of times it's the psychology of the thing. In really good horror movies, sometimes you never even see the monster, But you can do that. And all the while, you're solving problems. You're figuring out how this and that, how to frame shots, blah, 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 all that stuff, and how to collaborate with your cast and so on and so forth. So that's the interesting thing about it. And really, I have a lot of respect for filmmakers who at least tried that, started out with that, rather than, their student crap about depression or something, which in and of itself could possibly form a horror movie. But it's a great way to learn the craft. Yes. Dominic, horror was great, but like all good art, the modern stuff tends not to be as good for the most part. Well, it gets repetitive and they run it in the ground, so then what's the next trick? Well, it'll be someone who's clever and figure something out. That kind of thing. But it's not a genre that's going to go away. It just isn't. I don't think it's like certain styles, like the movies that came about with Conjuring and what was it, Insidious, and stuff like that. They were all very similar in that they had jump scares, but that's to be expected. But just it was more about ambiance and atmospherics with those than overall plot and story, because it was basically the same thing over and over again. And so that kind of angle runs its course. But a horror movie in general will always be around. It's just the different angle or approach one takes. And if it's one you hadn't seen in a while, it'll seem a little fresh, that kind of thing. A. Thompson, it is a beautiful movie. That's right. Demi Moore's in it. And, that's the one. Yeah, there's some kind of procedure and she becomes a younger woman type thing. That's the whole point of it. But it's all really weird and creepy and of some kind of creepy substance. Plaidcore, Topher played a creepy actor in a miniseries a couple of years ago with Ray Romano. Really? Okay. Yeah, I could see him. He ought to do some horror movies and stuff like that. He ought to play some villains. Nodak 123. Did you see Barbarian, the one with Justin Long? No, I did not. And now I'm embarrassed. Plaidcore, that 70s show was filled with Scientologist weirdness. Well, were all of them? Remember, I knew Masterson was a member of Scientology, but I didn't know if the rest of them were, or like the producers or something. Nodak 123, Topher was also in that terrible Predators movie with that one. I'll give it to them that they tried something else with it, where they're the ones who get abducted and brought to it's almost like a reality show for predators. And then ultimately, the question was, why was the Topher character there when the others were obvious as to why? Because they all had that, mercenary background, stuff like that. And then eventually you find, well, I won't spoil it as to what he was. But yeah, it just got kind of stupid, and then ends where, got to start it all over again. I think Predator was a one and done movie. Sorry. Still haven't seen Prey though. I've heard people say good things about it. I guess I ought to check that out as well. But it's kind of like Alien. At least Alien got two good movies. The first and the second. Since not really, little moments here and there. And some, but you just lightning in the bottle, you can't catch it. At least Alien caught it twice, Predator only once. A. Thompson, it was virtually no money. We got Demi Moore movie for $13 million budget, but it's perfect. Well, that's the thing. If you know what you're doing, when you don't know what you're doing, you can have $400 million and it won't matter. Nodak 123, yeah, it was Plaidcore. A. Thompson, hard for a layman like me to describe stealth chaos. Describes it better. The substance is exactly what it needs to be. Plaidcore, didn't see Barbarian? Good. Oh. Nodak 123, really good. Very unexpected halfway through. Dominic, special effects is a dying art with advanced CGI. Yeah, no shit. I mean, CGI is at its best when it's just to fill in the blank spots of actual practical special effects. And that was true in the initial days of it, and it remains true today. It's just the way it is. I with AI and whatnot, I imagine it'll get to the point where you won't be able to notice it as much. But the problem is also in performances of the actors. But there again, AI will replace those two. Never mind. But yes, I agree. But as far as for the craft and appreciating it, you just can't beat practical effects. Dominic, especially okay, Hellraiser is a good example. Effects with a dash of vintage. Yeah, same thing. Sentai Ranger Donnie, hello Gary. Plaid Core, cool. I'll check it out. Nodek 123. Topher was also Venom, right? He was Venom in the third Spider-Man movie. Now that one, the studio forced Venom into the story, and it is closer to the actual Venom story than the Venom movies and stuff. I mean, first of all, Spider-Man's in it. He wears the suit first. All that stuff about it corrupting you and whatnot, that wasn't the case in the original story. I guess it is now. I don't know. And then Eddie Brock gets the suit and is jealous of Peter Parker and Spider-Man and all that. And so those elements were in there, but the real bad part to me, even if you took Venom out of it completely and it was just a Spider-Man versus Sandman movie, the terrible thing in there is that business of revealing that Uncle Ben was killed by Sandman and it was an accident. It destroys the whole origin of Peter Parker, because the reason he decides to do this superhero thing is because he's guilt-ridden over he had the chance to stop the man who murdered his uncle, and he didn't do it because he was too hung up on himself and being an asshole. And then his uncle is murdered by this man that he lets go. Well, come to find out, you needn't have felt so bad, Peter, because he didn't murder your uncle. It was just some other guy, and it was an accident. And so you can retire. You don't need to be doing this. Go get married to Mary Jane. Live out your life. It's great. Go back to school. Become the scientist you always wanted to be. And forget about J. Jonah Jameson and all that. And I don't know, the spider powers can help you around the house, cleaning the ceiling and stuff. And you're good. It wasn't your fault at all. This is stupid. But no, he had to learn that hard lesson that he was being arrogant and selfish. And that's the powerful lesson of his origin. And the third movie just takes that, wipes its ass on it, and flushes it down the commode. And so, hey, people cry about the Venom stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it's stupid, but nowhere near as devastating as that. So, yeah, I didn't like that. Anyway, Plaidcore, he was Venom? Yeah, he was. Plaidcore, wow. Dominic, just chilling out, Sentai. Hope all is well. Nodek 123, yeah, and Spider-Man 3 with emos, but yeah, that stupid thing where he's dancing. Talk about add insult to injury. Gary Ambrosia saying hi to Sentai Ranger Donnie. Renew Power Rangers for season 3. Hail Donnie. Hey Thompson, Barbarian was good. I tend to find the good in everything. Gary Ambrosia, Sentai Ranger Donnie, Renew Power Rangers for season 3. Pretty sad about the passing of my favorite actress. Yeah, it's it's bad, yeah, but yeah, all you could do is cherish your memories, and may they rest in peace. Dominic, Aftermath is a hidden gem that came out in 2018. They used vintage cameras, all handmade special effects to make a true grindhouse indie film. Sid Haig was in it. I'm not familiar with Aftermath. Gary Ambrosia, good night, you guys. Well, good night, Gary. Thanks for showing up. Sentai Ranger Donnie Renew Power Rangers 4 Season 3, I think is what it was. Gary Ambrose. Yes, Terry Carr. I was sad as well, though. On the plus side, I had fun watching the debut of Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. Sentai Ranger Donnie. Gary Ambrosia, thanks for coming, my friend. See you again on a new PCP. That's right. We're doing a Halloween special. And we'll be talking about The Fog, Fright Night, and Return of the Living Dead. And, a few other things. Hey, Thompson, how dare you? Barbarian was worth seeing. You movie snobs are the reason why we are flooded with Marvel movies. No, that's not why. Plaidcore, we need another Hal Needham. Hey, Thompson, Thailand has a ton of scary movies out this year. Sentai Ranger Donnie 3. Or 31? I don't know. Nodak 123. All you can do is get busy living or get busy dying. Plaidcore, truth be. Nodak 123. Thoughts on Bane Tomahawk? Just watched it the other night. Well, I didn't, so I have no thoughts. Sentai Ranger Donnie. There are 30 seasons of the Power Rangers so far. Doug, but I do hope for a 31st one. I see. Hey, Thompson, Aftermath with Arnold, where his daughter is a zombie. Was that what it was called? I do remember that. He did do that, a zombie movie. It was called Aftermath? I thought it was like named after the daughter's name. Or I didn't see it, obviously, but I do remember hearing about it. But that's another one. I guess I'll have to check that out at some point. Anyway, Dominic, I still get a kick out of nude scenes from Grindhouse movies. It's different. It's different than all the degenerate modern pornography. Plaidcore, never heard of it. I'll check it out. Nodeck 123, Bone. Plaidcore, LOL. Hey, Thompson, Aftermath was a great Arnold movie. I was impressed with the movie. Nodeck 123, it was called Maggie. That's what I thought. Yeah, it was named after the daughter that he wanted to save and all that. Well, there we go. A drawing of Bob Dracula and me reading the chat. That's pretty much what you can expect from this live stream. That and the occasional clip, Nelson news and the like, stuff like that, for the breaks in between the drawing and the photoshopping. Oh yes. Anyway, Dominic, not that Aftermath, but that sounds really good. Okay, so there's an Aftermath somewhere out there, and there's an Arnold movie called Maggie. Yeah. Hey, Thompson, I'm not Big Bird. Great movie. Is that like the guy who played Big Bird and was tired of being typecast as Big Bird? Now, that would be something, wouldn't it? Nodak 123, great drawing, great show. Thanks, Doug. Well, thank you, Nodak, and thanks to everybody else for showing up. It is greatly appreciated. But I must move on to other things. Yeah, life beckons. Anyway. Hopefully we'll get to another one tomorrow. If not, well, geez. Yeah, I probably could. Geez. Am I going to put out an LSN show or not? Yeah, that's going to be really, it will be tight. Well, we'll see. But anyway, hopefully I can do a live stream tomorrow. But I got to do the Doomcock show. I don't know if I'll be on with Pat later. But, well, we'll find out, won't we? Yeah, we will. And that sort of thing. But other than that, we'll see. Anyway, happy Halloween.
Watch till he tell his tales. See what you saw, all whistles and bells. Behold, Mr. Nelson's heart, hear what has to say from the very start. Beyond the end of the day, after late as fuck. What else is there? Admit it, you're stuck, but Mr. Nelson don't care. Watch Mr. Hill tell his tales. Let's see what you saw, all whistles and bells. Behold, Mr. Nelson's art, hear what has to say from the very start. From the very start, beyond the end of the day. After late as fuck. What else is there? Admit it, you're stuck, but Mr. Nelson don't care. Don't care.